shallow, and the injury to the pelvis was much worse than in the first endeavor.
So the mattress was far worse than falling into water.
I think both jumps were a problem, but it definitely appears to be much worse landing on the mattress in the water.
So he's even more dead.
He would be even more dead than the first one.
Is that a medical term?
It is now.
Okay. We have tested this thing 6 ways to Sunday, actually 4 ways and on weekdays, but we have found that, yes, jumping from 35 feet is bad into water, but in the mattress, it's like twice as bad. This is a counterintuitive result, which for us is totally awesome.
Yep, both Buster and Sin Buster tell the same story. Despite what you'd expect, a mattress doesn't cushion a splash landing. It only makes it worse.
So where would you say this myth stands?
You know, it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't quite, what is it, not right, not...
Truthful?
Ill-conceived?
Ill-conceived, improper, let's say just wrong.
Okay, it's wrong.
It's wrong.
But you know what bothers me is that people have actually been known to dive from that height into shallow water and survive.
I've been thinking about that, and I think what we could do is find someone who knows how to safely jump from those heights into shallow water and have them show us the method.
I think that'd be a good thing to know.
Let's do it.
Okay.
The myth is busted. But is there any way to get the drop on a fall into 4.5 feet of water? According to this myth, by using a mattress to break your fall, you could hit the sack and escape. But in reality, not so much.
He would be even more dead than the first one.
Is that a medical term?
It is now.
Having established that jumping off a 3-story building, either directly into 4.5 feet of water or onto a mattress in that water, is potentially lethal, it begs the question, what exactly would it take to jump safely from that height and into that depth of water?
So we've come here to the George F. Haynes International Swim Center in Santa Clara, California, where they have a magnificent pool and a platform that sits precisely 3 stories above that pool. And in a little while, Mr. James Franklin Heineman is going to find out what it would take to dive safely from this height. Better him than me.
Given that jumping off a height like that the wrong way into water could seriously hurt you, I'm not about to do anything fancy off of that without some training. Now, luckily, we've got just the guy to do that.
He taught us how to jump off of buildings. He's wrapped us in bubble wrap and thrown us off of buildings. That was intense. His name is Randy Lamb. He's a professional stuntman, and he is tasked today with taking Jamie right to the edge and throwing him off.
Throwing him off and ensuring that his plunge is less than the 4.5-foot depth of the myth. But first, what kind of depth does the average drop from 35 feet get?
Wow. That was really cool.
I'm screwed.
Randy's jump carried him about 2/3 the depth of the pool, about 12 or 13 feet. It's a lot farther than 4.5 feet, and I have to admit, I'm really curious to see what kind of form his shallow dive takes.
Well, that's what Jamie is about to find out.
So, Randy, what are my options as far as flattening out quickly without hurting myself?
As you're coming down, you want to be right now in a very vertical position. Just as your feet touch the water, I want you to pull them in front of you. Keep your legs straight and pike right here, all right? This position here should scoop you up.
Okay.
All right?
It's a tactic that should slow Jamie down as he enters the water and make his angle of entry shallower.
And how did that feel?
Felt all right.
But with a 3-story dive into the mythical 4.5 feet to come, practice is going to make perfect. So cue the music. We're going to need a training montage.
Lay back, lay back. Nice.
If there's one thing we've learned in acquiring techniques to deal with dangerous situations like this one, is that you need to work your way up incrementally. I feel like I just got spanked. You can't just take instructions that as you're jumping, you're going through in your head, do this, now I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. It all happens so fast, it has to be automatic. And that's what I'm in the process of doing right now, is burning that in so that I don't even have to think about it.
Stay tight, stay tight. Nice.
And before long, Jamie has graduated to the 15-foot height.
He surveys the distance, estimates his trajectory,
And he jumps. That was a really good one. Barely heard a sound. Nice work, sir.
Taking it drop by drop, Jamie's gotten his depth to 5.5 feet. And his technique is getting so good that soon,
That was your best one yet. I think you should move up and start practicing from a little bit higher to get comfortable up there.
All right.
As Jamie practices and moves to ever higher diving platforms, there's actually a quite interesting reason for which he might get better at decelerating faster as he goes higher. Water resists an impact in direct proportion to the speed of the impact. Cary Grant and Tori investigated this in their Water versus Concrete episode.
Belly plug,
And it definitely applies here. So while he did pretty good at 15 feet, he might be able to actually hit his target at 35. That one was fantastic. That was as good as your best jump from 15 feet.
Yeah, well, I mean, if that one was as good as I got from 15 feet, maybe I'll be able to do just as good from 35.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing to do but keep practicing.
and after a day of jumping in with both feet, that 35-foot fall will have to wait until tomorrow.
So, how you feeling after all that?
Ow.
Sorry about that. Welcome back. We have been attempting to replicate a clip that purports to show a safe way of leaping from 35 feet into a 4.5-foot deep swimming pool. And we pretty much busted that outright.
So he'd be even more dead.
We are now investigating whether there is any technique at all that can help you safely make such a jump.
Yep, and yesterday, Jamie spent the day getting in touch with his inner aquatic mammal. But it's taken its toll.
I took a lot of jumps yesterday, and by the end of the day, I was in a lot of pain. This morning, I was still in a lot of pain. So I decided to call our orthopedic surgeon and see if there was anything I should be concerned about. And he said that, well, not really as far as the tissue damage or anything like that, but that is a warning sign that I'm taking a heck of a lot of impact in my lower back. And that's an area I really don't want to mess with. So I'm handing it over to our stunt guy, Randy.
Jamie's back is telling him to back out, so cue the stuntman.
All right, Randy. It's all down to you, sir.
35 feet into 4.5.
Okay, sure. He wasn't supposed to jump right there.
I didn't think so.
Full marks for enthusiasm.
Full marks for enthusiasm, and it's clear from this impromptu plunge that he has the technique down. But this time it's for real, and it's a long way from the top with a very shallow landing. Will Randy jump and come up trumps?
All right, here goes the scoop in 3, 2, 1.
Wow. Dude, I think that might have been survivable. Hold on, let's check this out. Dude.
He would have survived that.
I think you're totally right. He would have survived that. He dipped a few inches below the line, but he's so decelerated, that's just a bump on the bottom. That's not an injury.
Yeah.
Randy's the man.
Yeah.
Randy's the man because he's gone one up on the myth. Not only did he take the fall from the same height into the same shallow depth, he made it out injury-free.
Randy, that was beautiful. How did it feel?
It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but I can understand why Jamie is tender today.
It's certainly not a painless way to land, but it sure beats a shattered pelvis and a broken spine.
Randy just successfully jumped shallow enough that he would have survived a 35-foot jump into 4.5-foot deep water. I have to admit, everything that we tested so far in this story, I was not given good odds for him being able to do that. But I guess 30 years of experience as a stuntman counts for something.
So how do you want to call this?
Well, as far as the clip we started with goes, everything that they described, either jumping into the pool straight or jumping into the pool with a mattress on top of it, is either super dangerous or even potentially lethal.
Yeah, it's busted. Not to say that it couldn't be done, though, at least if you've got decades of experience as a stunt person.
Exactly right. So, don't try this at home. We didn't.
My butt still hurts.